I don't know, folks, the press, the sycophants for Democrats out there, the throwback, somebody once told me, stop calling them mainstream, whatever you want to call them, legacy media, the throwback media, the irrelevant media, the media that's shrinking by the day. They seem very worried for Senate Democrats, for what it's worth. You've got a piece here at Politico that says Democrats' own polling shows they have a massive brand problem. I've got an ABC News piece that says now that the House has voted to avert a shutdown, Senate Democrats face a stark choice. I read to you just a minute ago that Politico says Chuck Schumer is in a real shutdown mess. Can he lead Democrats out of it? And I then read a quote from John Thune that says, well, nobody's reached out to us from Chuck Schumer's office to make a deal, so maybe we could talk, but we're waiting for him to... There's no deal to be made. Listen to me, John Thune. Listen to me. I know we have a pulsing stick in Washington, D.C. here. So the Chris Stigall Show is imploring you people and Senate staffers that monitor this show and any of the rest of you on Capitol Hill that have ties to United States senators, listen to me and listen well. If you negotiate with Democrats on this thing... What was it Chuck Schumer once said? You will reap the whirlwind. I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind if you Republicans so much as talk to Chuck Schumer about this. This bill fully funds the government and keeps it open for the rest of the calendar year. Democrats do not want to start talking about a new piece of legislation which shrinks the government and lowers your taxes. That's what they're trying to avoid. They want to keep fighting about the terms of yesterday. Republicans need to be about tomorrow. And you have the bridge to tomorrow in this CR on Chuck Schumer's desk right now for vote. There is nothing to negotiate with him about. And if I hear one wobbly, linguini spine, cologne and cufflink establishment Republican say, well, gosh, we really want to avert a government shutdown and we're afraid we'll be blamed, so maybe we should deal with Chuck. No. Let me play it for you again, just in case. For those of you in the back, Claire McCaskill, 966 from earlier in the week.
If they end up being the reason that the government shuts down, that muddles their message that, in fact, it's the Trump administration that is trying to shut down your government services like Social Security, like Medicaid, like veterans benefits.
Senate Democrats embrace hardball on government shutdown. This from Axios. This raises the chances of a government shutdown this weekend. Democrats are in the unusual position of being willing to risk a shutdown to negotiate a better deal with Republicans. What deal? There is no deal to be made. Do you hear what Axios is doing? Again, some of the bidding of Chuck Schumer and Democrats. There's a deal to be found here. What deal? Again, Fast Eddie, is there a deal? Talk to me. Tell me, am I missing something? Is there some deal to be struck here?
There is no deal currently on the table to be struck with Democrats, period. None.
Do we want, more importantly, can they craft any deal? And I want you to get as clever as possible. Is there any deal Democrats could craft to make this palatable for Republicans in the Senate, in your view?
No, we can't. Absolutely not. No.
And I open it to this audience. If you look, I'm always willing to be your humble host and say, okay, the jury has spoken. If there's a single member of this audience that thinks Republicans in the Senate should deal with Chuck Schumer and Democrats over a bill that literally funds the government for the rest of the year at a baseline of spending, what did the... As I said a minute ago during the break, I told Fast Eddie my 16-year-old daughter could make this argument. And it goes like this, and everybody listen. Here's how you articulate this. When and if, in fact, we have a shutdown tomorrow and everybody starts screaming, who's going to reopen the government? You simply respond by saying, we were going to keep the government open for the rest of the year. We cut no operational expenses. We wanted to keep the lights on for the rest of the year so we could go on about the business of the people. The Democrats want to keep having 30-day fights about what's in last year's spending. We don't want to have that fight anymore. We want to move on, and we have. And the bill is there waiting, and Democrats don't want to vote for it. They want to keep fighting about yesterday. Every 30 days, we want to talk about tomorrow. Senator Chris Stigall from the great state of Pennsylvania. Thank you. I'll take my seat. I just did a floor speech, Fast Eddie. I think that was pretty compelling, and I didn't even need 2 minutes to do it.
This better go viral, man. I need to see it. The NRSC.
I swear, I feel like I got to do it all myself this week. All this week I've been carrying this around on my back, this messaging. And it's not just with the Senate, by the way. Sadly, it's with some of my own colleagues. So frustrating.
The Chris Stigall Show podcast.